Greetings from the Salt Lake City, Utah airport. Today is Thursday, December 14th, 2023. It's about 7:20 p.m. Mountain Time. Like I said, I just went through TSA a little bit ago at the Salt Lake City airport. This is kind of the main atrium. TSA would be that hallway down there. You'd come through here and then come this way. If you're leaving the airport, you go through all those doors, and that would take you outside of the terminal so that you can go to the ground transportation or baggage areas. Over here they have a few dining locations, a Pizzeria Limon, Shake Shack. I've been to Shake Shack a few times. There's an F&E Latin and eclectic pastry place, gelato, desserts, etc. Then Panda Express. And then if I keep panning around, you've got the big wide shot of the atrium, specifically for Christmas time right now. They've got the giant Christmas tree over there, the colorful stars dangling from the ceiling. And if we kept going back there, which I'll probably do a walk around that area, there's a lot of general seating areas and power outlets where people, while they're waiting for their flights, can kind of plug in and, work. And then over to my right, there's a Starbucks and a Granado's Gourmet Market. And then the thing I panned on initially is Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. There's also a CNBC store there where you can get some clothing or other goods. I always like this holiday bear right here. Every month, pretty much, they change the outfit on it for Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. They'll decorate the bear differently. And then the other bear over here is decorated for just being like a pilot. The flight that I'm doing today is that very bottom one right there, Las Vegas, gate B3. I have to be there by a little over an hour from now. It starts boarding. It's going to head to Las Vegas for the connection, overnight connection, going to overnight flight, then going to Cleveland. There's a tunnel that goes from the A gates to the B gates, because right now these are going to be all the A gates if we look to our left and right. The tunnel to go to the B gates is all the way down there. A lot of people have complained about it in the past, how long of a walk it is, but in 2024, sometime next year, a second tunnel will open here, and then possibly years down the road in the future from that, they will possibly open up a train, like a shuttle people mover, that more advanced shuttle train that goes from the A gates to the B gates. Now this section down here just opened a few months ago. Gates A26 through A49. I believe it's a lot of Delta gates. We'll do a walk down that way. But that was one of the expansions of the airport. First, let me go to this atrium area that I was talking about. They've also got a Market Street Grill on my right. You can see the various tables you can sit at and do some work. So if you have a lengthy layover, or even if it's a short layover, because I've had layovers where like, oh, I got an hour before I gotta get to my gate, let me go sit down and do some work on my laptop for 30 to 45 minutes. Yeah, during the winter season they have a very nice big Christmas tree. Also a soldier back there. And the giant windows also give you a view of the various airplanes leaving. So across the way, that would be like the B gates over there. So imagine a tunnel underground that takes you from the A gates to the B gates. I do have one video that is dedicated to, I shot it a couple of years ago, maybe not a couple of years ago, a year or two ago, actually doing the full walk from the B gates to the A gates and posing the question, like, is the walk too long? And it gained a lot of traction, did the video. A lot of people saying that yes, it is way too long. But let's take a look at this recently opened area in the A gates. We'll see if the connection is strong enough because I haven't walked down this way before, but we've got the Delta Sky Club over here. Hours 4:45 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. On our right side, you've got Tech on the Go, so if you need to grab some technology, it's right there. You got a Toomey. Looks like a handbag or book bag store. I'll try to show the stores and shops on the other side, like the left side, when I am coming back the other way. So that way I'm not being too repetitive when I walk back. I thought it was interesting when the Burger King opened here, because one of the things about the Salt Lake City airport when it first opened, when I say first opened, was first renovated rather a couple years ago. There weren't like any what I would think of as the main fast food places. Like there were no McDonald's, no Burger Kings, no Wendy's, no Taco Bell's, no Chick-fil-A, none of the other typical fast food places. Now there is the Panda Express and there's a Panera Bread. So there are some national places, but overall it seemed like it was more like an upscale, like, oh, we're not doing the fast food thing. So that's why when Burger King came in, I was like, oh, they finally got a traditional, what my mind thinks of as a traditional fast food offering. So here's some of the gates, A26. And one nice thing, let me go up to these seats. This is a very modern airport, so all these seats have, you know, 2 plugs and also USB that you can do. And unlike a lot of airports, these plugs actually work. You know, a lot of airports have like older style ones, but you go and try them and they don't actually work. For the most part, when I've tried all these seats, I've had success getting to charge it. So you don't have to worry about, like, say if you've been using your phone and it's about to die and you're like, oh shoot, like I'm not near a charging port, and you're trying to, some airports you may be hunting around to find that one port that everyone's after. This one, there's no shortage of ports. And another airport tip that I've talked about before, say if you want to hang out, like this is a plane that's leaving to Redmond, Oregon, departs at 10:55 p.m. That's like 8, 9, 10, that's like 3.5 hours from now. So no one's at these gates. If you just want to relax at the airport and have privacy and chill out, you can just sit right here. That's what I typically would do. Now I would find a gate that's closer to my departure gate. Like I'd probably walk, my gate today is going to be gate B3 in the other concourse. So I would walk that direction and find a gate over there that is pretty empty and just sit there, and then like 5 minutes before I'm about to board, I would head over to my gate. Here's Wow Bale. Looks like they serve bowls and fried rice and other combos. Also, lots of Christmas decorations during the holiday season around the garland and ornaments on top of the gate readers.
If you believe that someone has tampered with your luggage, or if a stranger approaches you about carrying a foreign object, contact.
When I was at the Los Angeles airport a week or 2 weeks ago, they had very minimal Christmas decorations, at least in the part that I was at. This is the atrium at Salt Lake City. Looks like they've got little backpacks, chocolates, sunglasses. And you can see some of the locations it goes to. San Antonio, this one is departing to. Up ahead is Idaho Falls. So Delta definitely has a huge presence here. We're on the opposite end maybe of the A gates. B gates, I know Frontier and Spirit, when I've taken them in the past, they seem to go to the B gates. I forget about some of the other ones, like American Airlines, where they go. Here's one of the your typical Hudson stores where you get your snacks. And they have self-checkout stations, so you can get your items and do self-checkout. I have to say, one of the snacks, if I'm desperate for a snack and not wanting to get like a big meal, I usually grab a big bag of mini Oreos. I don't know, that seems to be my airport craving snack, which is funny because I don't usually eat Oreos at other times. I mean, I eat them, but I don't like go out of my way to buy them. But it's almost like I can eat them like cereal when I'm at the airport.
The Salt Lake City
You got this one leaving to Tampa.
Individuals wishing to smoke must exit the airport and go to a designated smoking area, curbside. Thank you.
Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's actually go on the people mover. You can see the ornaments in between. Where is that? Oh, it says Montana. I was going to say, I've never heard of Kalispell. So it's a location in Montana. But further down here, we've got an Auntie Anne's pretzel shop. And by the way, there are tons of restrooms too. And the restrooms, I'm not going to go into them obviously, but the restrooms are very, very modern. And the doors are like almost from like the ceiling to the floor. So it's like modern restrooms, privacy, lots of stalls. And like I said, it seems like every couple of gates they have another set of restrooms. So you definitely don't have to worry about overcrowding at the restrooms. Now we're at gate A38. This is Milwaukee. Looks like further down we got a Jimmy John's. Yeah, I don't think, last time I was here at this airport, I don't know if these were open to this extent. I knew like half of this hallway was open, but I don't think everything was. You've also got Bozeman, Montana. Interesting. Forgive me, Montana, anyone from Montana watching. I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with any of the airports in Montana, so both of those city names I didn't recognize. I recognize that one over there though, St. George, Utah. So if you want to go right on the tip of the southern part of Utah, you can go there. There's a Jimmy John's right here. We used to eat Jimmy John's a couple times in Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, but it seemed like all those locations closed up shop. And then down at the very end, you've got Casper, Wyoming. Palm Springs, California. Ontario, Canada. And a little bit of artwork up here. I don't know if that's supposed to be the Wright brothers. Let's start going on back now. We got Mill Creek Coffee Roasters. I haven't shown this map, and this is a good time to show it though. So we are at the A gates. So for some perspective, I started this live stream right here, and this is where I was showing like the Santa at Rocky Mountain Chocolate. I told you the TSA security was over here and you could exit this way. So I went this way. That big atrium with the Christmas tree was here. We just walked all the way down here, and this is, like I said, these are new gates. When this airport was first renovated, you would come in this way and you would only be going this way to all these gates. So these were open from the get-go, and then you would take the tunnel to the B gates, and there would be like an equivalent tunnel down at the B gates. You can see there where it says future tunnel to the B gates, which will, give you a second option to take. Well, yeah, like I said, all of these are new gates, so definitely a lot of airplane capacity at this airport. One thing you might be thinking to yourself looking at this live stream is like, oh, it doesn't look that crowded at the airport, which I will say is kind of true right now, but don't let that fool you. I wouldn't say you're like sardines ever walking in this place, but you know, certain parts of the day you'll see a ton more people than now. Got Fresno, California. I think that's another place for Montana, Missoula, Montana. I swear, I never knew there were so many Montana airports. Or even a demand for so many spots in Montana. We've got Red Rock Brewery. They got the Raiders Chargers game, and it's 28-0 in the second quarter. Boy, I predicted the Raiders would win 24-3, I think, something like that. But that one's already a blowout. Here's a Hudson nonstop. Enter with your credit card or Amazon one, so that's a different concept, it sounds like. In order to get in there, you gotta swipe your card and probably maybe pay as you are going along. There's a flight going to Dallas, Fort Worth. Calgary up ahead. I've gone to a fair amount of airports over the past X number of years, and granted, Salt Lake has the benefit of having a recently renovated and still going airport, meaning renovations are still continuing for the expansion. But to me, it seemed I would probably rank it at the very top for how new and clean it looks. Looks like we've got a P.F. Chang's coming soon. If you're an ice cream fan, some place called Rockwell Ice Cream Company. Fort Lauderdale. Up ahead looks like Eugene, does it say Oregon? Yeah, Eugene, Oregon. Definitely a long walk. I'll probably use the people mover a little bit more as I keep touring. Here's Blue Iguana Mexican food. Followed by Hugo Coffee Roasters. Minute Sweets, the Traveler. I'm assuming that you can. Forgive me, it seemed like the internet connection for the past 30 seconds was trying to cut out, but I think we restored it for in case my dialogue was missed. At one place that said Traveler's Retreat, it looked like a place where you could almost airport if you wanted to. Who knows how much that would be, probably a ridiculous amount. But it seemed like that was an option. There's a place called Vessel Kitchen. And then there was a Utah Jazz shop that we passed up. Like a Utah Jazz team shop. Here's the Salt Lake City Public Market. I don't know, I think it's just a branding thing. I don't think there's really we got some merchandise and kind of like a Hudson. There's Denver. I know the connection was going spotty again, so forgive me if the connection goes in and out. I'm on the Wi-Fi here at the Salt Lake City airport. I tried to test my 5G connection versus the Wi-Fi. My 5G was faster on the download aspect, but didn't have a good upload rate. The Wi-Fi was pretty solid on the download, but at least at the entrance, good on the upload. There's a clothing place called No Boundaries. So I guess if you fly into Salt Lake and didn't come prepared for the cold, you can go there. Speaking of cold, I'm unzipping my jacket. It's getting pretty warm feeling. Here's a place called Giftology. Looks like you can buy some last minute gifts if you're trying to shop for someone. Not sure what the elevators are for. I mean, I know what an elevator is for, but I mean, like, to my knowledge, there's not really a public second floor. Obviously, up there you see there's something, so it must be for workers of some kind. So this over here is the part of the airport that I'm familiar with, and I have done videos covering this area before, so I'm not going to do like a full U-shape like I just did. I'm going to try to show both sides if possible. Like Fry, looks like a clothing place, hip and humble. You've got a lipstick place called Mac, a TripAdvisor store, which is kind of like a Hudson News store. Over on my right, you've got Johnston and Murphy, again, if you want to get some more upscale clothing. Got a flight to Delta here on the right to Oakland. And then Kansas City up ahead. On your left side, White Horse Spirits and Kitchen. It looks like they're big on wine bottles. There's a Salt Lake City do-free shopping. Again, kind of like a, seems like a more expensive liquor and other things. Coach New York shop. So if you want luggage and purses. Danny Vestal says, just subbed. Merry Christmas from Texas. Oh, thank you, Danny, for checking in. Always love having new subscribers. I always wonder, too, how did someone stumble in who's a new subscriber to a live video? Like, were you searching for it, or did it just pop up? Here's a Panera Bread. This is the #1 place that I usually visit. Probably won't get anything today, but when I'm at the airport, I usually grab 1 or 2 of their pastries. Either a chocolate chip cookie or one of those other Danishes that they sell. Land Speed Depot by Hudson. So kind of another Hudson shop concept. We've got Los Angeles on the left, gate A24. To my right, I know I'm moving kind of fast with the camera, there's a St. Louis location. Seattle, Washington, up at gate A19. You can go to Orange County at gate A22. You know what I thought was interesting? There's a small airport in Ogden, Utah, which is not too far away from the Salt Lake City. Maybe a 45 minute drive. Yeah, we'll say 45 minutes. And then there's also a small airport in Provo, Utah, which is south of Salt Lake City. Here's a Visit Salt Lake shop. Danny says that you were just looking through the lives available and you were there. I was there. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know I would be featured in some of the lives going, so that's pretty cool. Thanks for, again, tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy some of the videos that we try to shoot. Here's the iStore. Doesn't look like it's exclusively Apple, but it looks like there's a bunch of technology options. Brugger's Belgian Bistro. I always like that little mural that they have there on the sidewall. Cafe Rio, Mexican grill, and then back there they've got a welcome to Salt Lake City. On my left is Salt Lake Brewing Company. So before I get distracted, real quickly I'll say there's Jackson Hole, Sun Valley, Portland, and up ahead New York City, JFK. Back to what I was talking about with Ogden and Provo. Ogden, I guess, used to do a couple of flights at their small airport, but then they went, whatever airline was there left, and I think in a couple of months some airline is returning to have it's flights, I believe, to California that'll be running. I don't know if they're really headed to Chicago or some other city, but I was thinking to myself, like, oh, that's pretty interesting because, you know, if you're price comparing, even though it's a different airline called like Breeze Airlines, you might be able to find some better deals and just take the train from like Salt Lake to Provo or Salt Lake to Ogden, and then, you know, save a decent amount of money flying that way. Here's Beans and Brew Coffee House. So it looks like there's some type of construction going on the exterior of the B gates here. I think that just on the sidewalls doesn't look like it's affecting the tunnel too much. But you would take those escalators down and then go down to the B gates after you walk the long hallway. Here's Garbanzo Mediterranean Fresh. And just do a time check. It's 7:47 p.m. By the way, on my left there's Vancouver flight. Billings. I knew Billings was Montana, but I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, are you kidding me? There's 4 airports now I think I've mentioned in Montana. Burbank, California. I mean, I know California's gonna have a lot, but I did not expect to see all these Montana airports. Landon says, hey, safe travels and happy holidays. Thanks, Landon. Appreciate it. Happy holidays to you too. We've got our second Starbucks location here. You remember there was one in the atrium when we first came in. We've got a KSL newsstand and little beverage and snack shop. Again, kind of like Hudson's. KSL is, I believe, like the Utah News. That's what I don't know what the acronym stands for. You've got the Lego store here. So if you want to buy a gift at the Lego store. I was wondering if they would have anything specifically for Salt Lake City, like Temple Square, built as a Lego set, but it didn't look like it. We've got Austin, Texas, another Seattle flight. Man, these are all Delta. I swear I took United. Did I fly United to California? I'm trying to think, well, what airline did I fly on? I should remember this. It was just 2 weeks ago. Maybe I did fly Delta. Yeah, come to think of it, I actually did fly Delta, so I guess the entire A concourse is all Delta, from what I've gathered so far. They definitely have a monopoly on all these gates. There's Omaha, Nebraska, Pocatello, Idaho. Is that what it said? And then we're getting to the end of the A gates with Central Point Market. Weird, they have an elevator there too. Like, where does that elevator go? California Pizza Kitchen. And then when we get to the end of this spot, you also have those airplanes hanging from the ceiling, kind of like you did before on the opposite end. Slightly different figures. You got Oklahoma City, Boise, Tucson, Helena, and Tulsa. What? Whoa, I didn't know. Beecher's Handmade Cheese? No way. That's the Seattle place, right? At Pike Place. My brother and I had that when we went to Seattle. I thought their only other location was New York City. I didn't know they had any other, like, even airport satellite locations. So that's a surprise to me. I'll have to look into that. See if that's common or if that's like a first. Alright. So since we already covered this area, in the interest of time, I'm going to try to... Well, I was going to take the people mover, but sometimes it's faster to walk if there's a crowd of people. I'll just do a fast-paced walk to get back to the B gates so we can walk that tunnel. There is a Jamba Juice over here, but you don't have as many, at some points, shops and restaurants on this side because that's typically where the bathrooms are. I'll do the people mover on this one. And then the B gates will be right after that. The B gates are going to feature a very long tunnel that has a mural along the one wall. The mural is supposed to encompass all of the seasons throughout the year, like spring, summer, fall, and winter. Now, if there are like people who are handicapped and can't like even walk themselves, really, I have seen like airport personnel. You can see right there, airport tunnel shuttle. It'll come and kind of like go back and forth and pick a few people up like that. But I don't know how you request that because like right now there wasn't a person standing there. I don't know if it just comes every so often or what. So you've got the people movers there, or you can walk. This mural starts with summer. Again, this is the source of most of the complaints that you see of people with the airport. They say this tunnel is too long, you know, especially if you're getting off at the B gate, you got to walk this whole tunnel and then you got to walk what I was walking just to get out of the concourse. So that finished the summer mural. Then it jumps into the autumn mural on the right. And you can see right here, this is one of those shuttles. So I guess that's how it works. You would just wait for the shuttle at the opposite end, and eventually it's probably going to go back and forth and pick you up. And this is probably like the halfway point once you reach this. Right, if I turned around, does that look like it's halfway? Yeah, it seems about halfway. Then over here you jump into the winter snow skate mural for the winter season. Got some snowflakes coming down from the mountain areas. They do have some seats along the way, like if you need a little break, and they're usually typically not occupied because, you know, not many people are gonna come down here and be like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here for a couple hours. You want to be close to a restroom, but if you do need a little break as a walker, they do have them there. And then last but not least, In Bloom, which is the spring season mural. But for me, that always helps pass the time walking this area. Just looking over at the mural, even though I've seen it a dozen times. It's colorful and big. But yeah, sometime in 2024 they should have an equivalent tunnel right when you walk in, you know, at the main atrium. So that will at least save people some time from having to walk all the way down here and then go across to the B gates. So you can see up here, gates B1 to 10 are on the left, and gates B9, B11 through 38 are on the right. Let me think about this. Since I'll be ending up at gate B3, I might as well go this way first. So that way when I'm ending the live stream, I'll end up being closer to my, like right at my gate. I don't want to have to do a full circle walking around. Another map showing, I think this one's interactive, so you could, this is the way we're headed. Maybe it's not interactive. Or it's frozen. But my impression of the B gates in the past is that there were fewer shops and fewer restaurants. So I felt like there was a bigger concentration in the A gates. But you can see we've got some United flights down this way. Got one going to San Francisco.
you are welcome to board. Keep in mind, this is the basic economy. You're allowed to have one personal item.
All the way at the end, there's a solid white wall, and that's because, much like the A gates, you know, when the first gates that I was walking at the stream, I told you those had just opened. Similar with the B gates, they are doing construction, are going to be expanding, going that direction in the future. I forget how many gates, but you can probably look that up online and it'll tell you. Oakland, Denver, so some repeat cities. I do see Phoenix on the left, which I don't think I saw a Delta One at this time of day going to Phoenix. Oh, and there's Southwest Airlines. So we got Southwest using it down this way. And this area is under construction, much of it. And like I said, pretty sure they will be expanding in the future, with lots more gates going that way. Yeah, I don't even know if any of these ones are open. But these appear to be Spirit Airline gates down that direction. Yeah, at the moment that doesn't seem functional. Here you've got Utah with an exclamation mark. So some souvenirs. A Maverick, that's kind of like the gas station that also is a beverage and snack store. Uinta Brewing.
Right here.
Have a Pickup Sticks fresh Asian flavors. See that flame going in the background.
Hello and welcome to Salt Lake City. I'm Mayor
Briggs and Riley.
and our city is happy to have you here. If you're just arriving,
More
I hope
luggage,
you'll find the
and
time
then
to
In
visit
Motion,
some of
the
our
technology
local
store.
businesses. Sample some of the flavors of our many craft breweries, or enjoy our arts and entertainment scene. And if you haven't
We're getting there. We're in the
visited today, know
home
that
stretch.
we'll
We're
be back soon.
just have about 10 more gates to cover. This is American Airlines on the right side. So definitely a smaller presence for the other airlines. It's kind of crazy how Delta has all those A gates, but these other airlines are sharing the B gates. But once they do the expansion of the B gates, I think that'll open up opportunities for more connections. Here's Gourmandise Euro Diner and Bakery. I've been to the downtown Salt Lake City location before. They have some nice but pricey, like decadent cake options. Liberty Park Market. Now, Liberty Park actually is a park in Well, first there's At Ease. That's what this place is called. But the next one, Liberty Park Market, that actually is a park in downtown just outside of downtown Salt Lake City called Liberty Park. That's where part of the sand lot is located. Jeffrey asked, is it International Airport? Yes, it is the Salt Lake City. And by the way, here's a showers, meditation, fitness classes, yoga session. So kind of can do like your own relaxation thing there. This is an international airport. I know when I've been walking around, we've only seen flights to Canada as far as international goes. I don't know if they have other offerings, so like Europe, for example. But at this precise moment, none of these gates that we've encountered today are really what I traditionally would think of as international. I'm trying to remember in the blueprints if there's a future plan for sea gates, like an actual third concourse. I can't remember. Here's the Salt Lake Tribune. Again, another little shop. I have been to Smash Burger a few times to grab a burger and fries. Then you have Wasatch Brew Pub. They have a little to-go section, or you can sit down. And then the final atrium over here. Jeffrey says Utah is heard to be the most peaceful state, right? Well, I haven't been at lengths of time to enough states to really comment on that, or I haven't researched it much. I will say there's certain areas of Utah that I usually go to are typically very peaceful and upscale, and tons of new homes being built. So there's Las Vegas to my right, which is the connection I'll be making for Frontier. But then you also have JetBlue going to Los Angeles. Let's see here, what else do you have at the end?
This will serve as the final boarding announcement for flight.
Can't see what's all the way down there at B2. I don't know if that's active right now. But that looks like, Fort Lauderdale, JetBlue. And then this one looks like Redmond, Oregon. Yep. So that will wrap up today's video and tour of the Salt Lake City Airport as of December 2023. If you enjoyed this live stream, feel free to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Happy holidays, and we will see you next time.
This will serve as the final boarding announcement for Flight 2640 with service to San Francisco and United B14. Last call.